Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we will be going over another PvP fight. This one is going to be against Brian Grant, and if you want to see this match from his perspective, then he has also uploaded a video yesterday. I think the title is my first two PvP fights or something like that, and the second fight is with me, this particular match, and you can see it. I'll try to leave a link in the description if I remember. That is always a big if. I always forget these things, but hopefully I will remember this time. But going in this particular matchup, I had one massive advantage and one massive disadvantage. First, let's talk about the advantage. This was my 22nd match, and this was Brian's second, so he was still figuring out some things. So I definitely had more experience for this particular game mode going in, but the disadvantage was also really massive. It was that just 5 minutes before I had recorded the gameplay for the video that went live yesterday, the Synergies one, and I was running a very weird suicide mastery setup, like because I had a lot of points on offense, and while I was removing, I don't know how it happened, but basically I was running suicides and I didn't even have full point, like parry maxed out. I didn't have stupefy, so you will see the parries here. And I don't know if Brian was running limber. I guess he was, but I was barely getting the parry stun thing, especially like the Archangel matchup where I was going for heavy. I was pretty surprised, and I didn't know that I was running a bad mastery setup till the first fight. So, but luckily I guess I just picked decent like champions that work all right with suicide masteries, with the exception of Dr. Doom here. Now, one thing that you will notice of all the champions that I have selected like 5 champions at this point. 4 of them are good on both offense and defense, which is kind of what I have been doing recently, and it has been working pretty well for me, like picking these all-rounder type of champions, because I mean, you can just pick like 3 defenders and 4 attackers or something, but you never know what the other person is going to pick. They may have the perfect counter, and if they do, then you know, sometimes a good defender is not that great against a perfect counter. But anyways, so let's see what Brian picks. So I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, he picks Bishop and I will pick Archangel. Now this is not an ideal matchup. Usually when I fight Bishop, I have my Red Hulk, who is Incinerate immune. First of all, you have to pick your defender. Now this is something that a lot of people get confused with, because you see the opponent picking a defender and you're thinking about what kind of attacker do I want, and then you pick the attacker, but you have to first pick your opponent's defender. So that is a very common thing that a lot of people were making a mistake with early on. But I will be picking Archangel. My defender was Dr. Doom. At this point, I do not know why I'm running Suicide Mastery. Now, now I have seen his video. I know he pretty much crushed my Dr. Doom, because he was running Suicide. He was taking a lot of bleed damage, poison damage, recoil damage, and then of course he was using Human Torch. So Torch was a mistake. It's an easy fight anyway. So I think he would have won the first round irrespective of my mastery setup. But look at the parry time there. I was barely, like, I was scared at this point because I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't realize till a very long time that I don't have points like maxed out stupefy and parry, and my utilities tree was all messed up. And the start of the fight was pretty horrible. I throw SP1 there, desperately hoping that 2 of those poisons, at least one of them, convert to neurotoxins. They didn't, and overall the RNG I was having was not particularly good at the start of the fight. But I think I turned things around here. I will finish this fight without dying. I am taking a lot of damage. It's very important, because again, from the at this point I've done more than 30 fights, and from what I've seen, a lot of people will be soloing the fights, because you're picking, especially the first fight, because the other person have like 6 champions, and usually one of them are gonna be good counters. I did lose there. As you can see, we both finished the fight, but the attacker health remaining is huge. Time is actually not that big of a factor. But round 2, this is the closest round in this match, and also it's probably not the closest round I've had so far, but it is very close, so pay attention. The defender I chose was iBomb. Also, I banned Man Thing just because I was facing Brian, and I kind of chose iBomb also because I was just facing Brian. But iBomb will end up betraying him in some way, and he picked Mr. Fantastic. I used Kingpin, who is great with suicide masteries, and also has, like, I am running willpower, so will be healing. Now again, recoil is kind of a problem, and the node is safeguard, just to remind you again. So if I am using SP1s, the degeneration, we also have some defensive ability reduction going with Kingpin, which is why we will be able to by the way, is this a rank 1 Mr. Fantastic? The BI seems pretty low, might be a rank 2. He is on a weekend as well. But anyways, we start off again taking some bleed damage from the suicide. Do not run suicides, because the damage advantage is not even there as in this particular node set, because it's safeguard. So you're gonna do 1370 damage if you're gonna crit or not crit or do anything. Damage over time will obviously be higher with suicides, but again, it's not really worth it. And he evaded there. Luckily we still get the degenerations. You can see we are doing more than the safeguard would normally permit, and that is because of defensive ability reduction. And now here I want to bait the SP2. He throws it. Even the AI, the overall time that you have in the fight is 2 minutes, which in my opinion can be pretty short. Like, there was a fight, not in this match, but where I was using Void, and it was like 1 second left when I finished the fight, and it could have gone the other way very, very easily. And finishing the fight obviously has the biggest amount of points. So I would hope that the timer is extended a little bit, but as you can see, that fight went really, really well for me. Ended up with 74% health, and if you see the point difference, it wasn't that much. It could have been done here, and at this point I was doing really well, because the third round I had a massive advantage. At this point, no matter what he chose, I kind of had the better matchup, because he had 2 metal champions. I have a Magneto, and he has to choose the defender. So if he chose Void there, could have been screwed, because I was running suicide mastery, but Mole Man could, shrug it off and stuff. And overall, like, Mole Man could have handled it, and he would have been stuck like with Magneto versus either Warlock or Guillotine 2099, both metal champions. And he ended up choosing Warlock as a defender, which means I'm gonna have Magneto versus Warlock, which again, I am running suicide. This won't be as easy as it sounds. It didn't cause that many problems, but he is going in with class disadvantage. Guillotine 2099, I'm not sure why he selected her, because again, with 2 minutes, you can't really build her up. And I didn't see her being used that much. I don't even have her, so I don't know. I didn't try her in this mode. But Magneto versus Warlock, you'd assume this is a very easy fight, and for the most part it was. But I was a little bit worried, because once I have infection on me, I will be losing power, and I am running suicide, so that's never ideal. But I was doing a lot of damage. I'm also gonna have like my power being drained, so I will not be reaching the SP3, which is why I think I went for SP2. But you have defensive ability reduction there, otherwise I would have gotten armor breaks on me, which again with willpower you would be healing, but because I'm infected against Warlock, that wouldn't have ended well. So right now, oh yeah, I wouldn't even be able to use the SP2. I'm gonna go for SP1, but it crits. I got a decent amount of luck. Would have won either way. Brian's fight didn't go that well, Void versus Mole Man, of course. But that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Like this video, share with the Lions, and maybe I'll face Brian again in the stream or something, and we can have a rematch. But like, share, subscribe. Bye bye.